Hello, welcome to scr1tno Knitting Project podcast. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family, 3 cats and a dog. This is episode 102 and today is the 5th of August 2021. Welcome if you are a new viewer, or welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have picked up a load of new subscribers in the last couple of weeks, so thank you so much for coming over to check out my podcast, and welcome. I'm guessing a lot of you came over from Paula, which is fab, thank you. I thought I might do a little bit of an explanation as to what the knitting project is, because I have got quite a few new subscribers. So what I do is, as you'll see, I have a number of projects. I am not a monogamous knitter at all. And because of that, at one point, I was very overwhelmed by the amount of whips I had. So I thought I need a way of organising them. So I decided to do a rotation of my whips. So it's over 6 days, so I've got 6 different headings, if you like, and that rolls over 6 days. Now it's 6 days, not 7, because some days I'm busier than others. So for instance, on a Tuesday during term time, I'm a guide leader and I do guides, so I don't have an evening to knit, so I don't get much time to knit on a Tuesday at all. So if it was to be 7 days, the project I knit on a Tuesday would get very little work done on it. But because it's rolling on over 6 days, what was a Tuesday one week would be a Monday the following week, so it would get a little bit more work. And then eventually every project gets some weekend days. Now I don't work Fridays, so Friday, Saturday and Sunday I get a little bit more time to knit. So that's why it's 6 days, not 7. It works with 8 days as well, but obviously it takes a little bit longer to get through all your whips. So that's how the rotation works, and that's why if you see, I've got day 1 is socks, day 2 is accessories, in fact, at the moment, and it changes from time to time as well. I have changed my headings recently, so I've got 2 garment days now. I've got a fingering weight garment day and a DK weight garment day, because I'm knitting both. So that's what the knitting project is. It's my way of dealing with my whips and having an excuse to cast on things. So if I was to finish an item on a particular day, and those eagle-eyed amongst you who have been following on for a little while will notice that I am possibly wearing a finished object, knows that I don't then wait for all my other projects to finish. That day then becomes free for me for a new cast on, which it will do, but I'm going to explain a little bit more about that when this comes into its day. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy it. So my first section is admin, and we have 2 knit-alongs going on at the moment. We have the square a day KAL, which basically was born from knitting a Cosy Memory blanket and doing a square a day on a Cosy Memory blanket. So by the end of the year you'd have quite a decent sized blanket, but has kind of grown into encompassing all sorts of crafts. We've got somebody who's quilting and doing a little hexagon a day, or actually I think they're triangles. We've got northeasterly blankets. I'm sure we'll have jelly roll blankets next year, because they're a thing now. So if you're doing a little bit of something each day onto a bigger project, or in some cases if you're doing something each day to make smaller projects. So I have somebody who's making animal blankets for charity, and yeah, absolutely, you get, as long as you're doing something each day, it's counting. So there's a check-in each quarter. We've just had June, the next one is September. So that's that KAL. The other KAL we've got is the stripy sock KAL, and that's just been a fantastic KAL, and I've loved running it, and I'm probably going to do something very similar to it next year. Not necessarily with stripes, but something very similar with socks. So for each month there is a set of a couple of indie dyers and a commercial. So this month is Down Sheepy Lane, Lang and Muststash yarns. And the idea is that if you use one of those 3, you can get 2 entries into the KAL. Now you can knit any stripy socks you like, so it doesn't matter, you just get 1 entry. Whips are totally allowed, so if you've got some Muststash hanging around in the bottom of a project bag which you've knit a sock for but you haven't knit the other one, this is the time to get that done. You would get 2 entries. So the next draw obviously is at the end of the month. I am not doing July's this week, because I've only just shut the thread and I haven't sorted my life out. I'm also not doing the draw for my 100th episode giveaway this week because I'm still getting comments on that episode at the moment, and I have had a lot of new subscribers, so I thought I'll just give it another week. So hopefully next week, also I'll hopefully have a little bit more time next week. I'm a bit up against it, so next week I'll do all the draws. So that's that. I think that's it for admin. Oh, except to say, I used to, on my admin section, say I'm going to be at such and such a place, which of course we stopped during COVID because we weren't going to be anywhere. But shows are starting to get big in-person shows now. I will be at the Southern Wool Show. I'm going both Saturday and Sunday. I'm hoping to go on Saturday with my friend Sally, and I'm hoping to go on Sunday with my daughter Katie, but I just need to arrange all that. I haven't arranged any of it yet, but that's what I'm going to be doing. So if you are in the south end of the country and you are able to go to the Southern Wool Show, let me know and we can kind of try and say hi. So yeah, that is it for admin. Now we'll go into the actual knitting section. Bear with me, I'm going to drink a cup of coffee. Decaf. Right, so first up is, I'm missing the piece of paper that go with, there it is. So first up, day one. Day one is socks. And these are a little pair of baby socks that I actually knit while I was on holiday, but I haven't had a chance to show you yet. So these were knit out of the Desert Vista Dye Works Somebody Is Not in Kansas Anymore colourway. And this was a leftover from some a main pair of socks that I knit. They're so cute, aren't they? I love them. And these are the Baby Life Ring socks, which is a pattern by Cat Bordy, and Cat Bordy's estate has released this for free. I don't know whether it's still for free. It was on Instagram as a freebie, so go look it up and see if you can still get them if you would like some. But they're fun. They're very fun to knit, and apparently they stay on really well. So I have never, now I learnt to knit socks from Cat Bordy, and well, not personally, but from her book, and I'd never done toe up. I'd always done mine top down because that's how I learned. She does do toe up, it's just I hadn't got that far in the book. I decided I liked the method that I'd learned and stuck with it, but these were actually toe up, so that was an interesting, never done it before. You know, it's a pair of baby socks, how bad could it be? So I really enjoyed it, and they're really cute. So Ian, who is my husband, his son, my stepson, is expecting his first baby in September, and yeah, that's what they're for. So I'm doing all the baby knits. So that's that one. My next one is a whip, and that is hanging out in my Taffety Mouse project bag, and I am doing the flower crown. That's not it. I've lost the piece of paper. Where's the piece of paper gone? Is it on the back of that one? Hold on. For a shorty pair of socks, it has an awful lot of pieces of paper. There we go. So these are the flower crown socks by Larkspur Knits. I haven't done the really pretty cast on just because I'd frogged the pair of socks that, the yarn that I've used for this pair of socks. But I left the cuff on, which actually in hindsight I'm regretting, but never mind. I'm going to knit these again because it's a fun pattern to knit. So you did see these last week, and let me show you my progress. So they're hanging out in a needle cozy by the lovely Ellie of Craft House Magic, and I was there last week where the little clock is that now wants to be the wrong way around. And I've managed to turn the heel and go pretty much all the way up the foot. I think I need to do another 2 pattern row repeats and my foot will be long enough, and it's ever such a pretty pattern. Now I like using wooden licky needles for my socks. I normally use 2.5mm wooden licky needles, but I found that with this lace work it was much easier to use some metal needles. So I treated myself, I think you saw these, didn't you, last week? I treated myself to some Chalgoo needles. They're not red lace, they're just Chalgoo normal needles. And I'm really liking these for doing the lace socks. So I think if I'm doing a lace pattern now, I will use these Chalgoos. So I really like them. Really like them. Now this lovely colourway is by my lovely friend Kelly, who is the dyer behind Lay Family Yarn, and who I'm very lucky to call a friend. And I love this. She was knitting socks in it herself. And if you go check out her latest episode, which is Lay Family Yarn HQ on YouTube, she's finished her socks, or at least she's finished one of her socks in her 3 ships. I think she's finished both now. Yeah, this is the colourway. It's 3 ships, and I got a what they call a Nick Pick and Mix mini, and that's number 2, the colour number 2. I guess with it really prettily. Yeah, love these. Absolutely love them. So that's my flower crown socks. And as I said, I didn't do the, I wish I had, but I when I frogged these back, I only frogged them back to there, and then I picked up the stitches. Then I looked at the pattern and went, oh, but I decided to do it anyway. They're only little shorty socks. I've done a little ankle. So I've modified that as well, because these are like trainer socks. They go straight from the cuff into the heel flap and gusset. So I've actually done a little ankle on them as well. So these are little ankle socks. I really like the trainer socks, but I've also really started liking wearing the little ankle socks as well, because a couple of my pairs of shoes rub if I wear the trainer socks. So having just an option of a shorty ankle sock, because I wear them even in the summer. I'm wearing them today because I just love wearing wool socks, and I don't find them overly hot. And I'm the sort of person, I can't go barefoot. I really can't bear my feet being exposed. Really weird, really weird. So that's my flower crown socks. And then my other work in progress, this really is going to be the Kelly show today, I'm really sorry, this was a bag that Kelly made for me, bless her, for my birthday. And this is holding my August Rainbow Chronicle socks. So the Rainbow Chronicles are a knit along that is being hosted by Kelly of Lay Family Yarn and Jules of So Sweet Violet, and there is a colour palette for each month, and you get extra entries if you knit Jules's pattern or use Kelly's yarn. I'm using Kelly's yarn. This is the August 10 gram minis palette pack, and the colours are, as you can see, sort of purples, which I love. This is probably my favourite one so far. Love it, love it, love it. So I am knitting these concurrently, so I have got, they're not on the same needle, so, but the idea is that I'm knitting a section a day, so it's approximately 9 rows each section. I say approximately because some are 10 and some are 8. It just happens that way. I do make sure that when I get to the end of a colour they actually match, because, you know, not match, but they're not too far out, are they? They're a little bit, but not too bad. So because I know that by the end of the month I don't need 30 sections. So I'm on day 5, so there should be 5 sections, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there is, because today's the 5th. At the moment I'm not doing my square a day because I'm using the mornings to knit these, just because my weeks are a bit busy at the moment and I'm not getting a chance during the day to do it. So I'm doing this first thing in the morning or last thing at night, depending on whether I've managed to do it first thing in the morning. Yeah, so this is my standard scrappy sock pattern. I've just done a 2x2 rib. I didn't twist it this time. I have done 60 stitches and as I said, it's either the theory is it's supposed to be 8. I tend to do 9 because I always do one for luck, and just occasionally I'll get distracted and there's either one less or one too more, but mostly it should be about should be 8, but it is normally 9. And to be honest, I quite like the thickness of the stripes with 9 anyway, so we'll just call it 9, and hopefully I won't go to 10. And I'm not doing the colours in any order. I am sticking my hand in my bag and pulling out the next one. So that's how the colours are kind of knitting up, shall we say, or working up. And then when I've finished a colour, the little balls are going in the bag that it came in, and eventually they're going into my Kelly blanket, but I kind of haven't done anything on my Kelly blanket for a little while. I will do, as you will see later on. You know, things come back around again. But yeah, so that's my sock whips for this week. I haven't done anything on my bumbling yarns. Well, I might have done something on my bumbling yarn sock, but I didn't put a progress keeper in, so I've got no clue. So that was clever. And I haven't done anything on my needle and thread socks, because they're mine kind of bedtime knitting, and I've been knitting these instead. So because I want to get these done. So that's day 1 socks done. Slap of coffee time. Okay, day 2. Day 2 is accessories, and at the moment I am knitting on a Kalani Scarf, which is a pattern by Amy of the Little Tailoress, and it's this beautiful scarf. It's knit with minis and mohair held together. I am using Amy's Advent from 2020, so her yarn company is Dandelion and Dogwood, which she runs with her sister, and I'm using my beautiful Advent I got from her, and I'm using Rowan Kid Silk Haze held with it. And this is my current mini, which you did see last week, so I haven't made a huge amount of progress on this week. I have been watching the Olympics. Everybody watching the Olympics? Now my favourite with the Olympics is the equestrian sports. I used to ride when I was much younger, and I really enjoyed it, and I love just watching all the equestrian bits and pieces. So I have been following our equestrian Olympic journey, and we've been doing really well. But occasionally when it gets tense. So this is my progress. I was there. I was just putting that, I hadn't actually started putting that mini in. So I have made a little bit, what, about an inch and a half's progress this week. I have been much better with keeping my pattern correct this week. So I've been more mindful about that, that's for sure. I'm confident that this one is completely correct, this particular section. And these beautiful stitch markers are all So Sweet Violet, which I love, especially that one, so pretty. So yeah, so this is the Kalani Scarf. It's a joy to knit. It's very much for me a summer project, because these bits, these sections here, these bottom sections, you really do need to concentrate on. But once you get into this section, it's a lot easier, the middle section. Having said that, I went spectacularly wrong on it, and I don't want to flog it back. I've made 2 things I've done wrong. I have got the pattern slightly wrong, which has annoyed me, and also I shouldn't have put the 2 yellow minis together. Lesson learnt there, I won't do it again. But I wasn't pulling it back because it's mohair, and I react quite badly to mohair. It sits on my chest, it makes me choke. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to wear this when I've finished it, but I don't want to rip it back because I think that will just kill me, basically. So I'm happy with it. It's going to go round my neck, and you know, as I said, I think it was last week's podcast, or it might be the week before, if you're looking closely and looking for my mistakes, well, you'll be really pleased to know you'll find some. You know, you do you. I'm going to do me, and I'm not worried about it. So I'm just enjoying it, if I'm honest. I'm enjoying playing with the colours, and I have quite a bit left. So this is the last one. I get quite a bit left each time, So I think this is going to make a beautiful blanket, or maybe a set of scrappy socks or something. But yeah, nice little nugget left for afterwards. So thoroughly enjoying this. Yeah, I love it. Every time I get it out, I really enjoy knitting it. Let's find its needle cozy. So it's living in this needle cozy, which is also a So Sweet Violet needle cozy, so that I can stop my stitches from falling off my needles, because it's so slippery. Again, I'm using licky needles for this, so it's not as slippery, because once it gets to the wood it is a little bit grippier, which I find is quite useful, so that they stay on the needles. And I'm using a 5mm needle. I don't know what it calls for in the pattern, but that's the one I'm using. And then the whole thing, which looks so pretty, is living in my beautiful bag from Paula from Stitched by Mrs D, which she kind of gifted me for my birthday. But yeah, it's such a perfect bag for this project. So that's day 2 accessories. I'm just going to pause the camera because it's going to run out on me. Okay, so day 3 is fingering weight garment day, and I have an FO, but I don't. So I'm going to stand up and just show it to you. I'll try and do a garden twirl at some point, but it won't be today. Oh, do not send that lot flying, Sharon. Right, so here we go. Let's see if I can stand farther back. Can you see the bottom? You can see the bottom just about. So this is the lace. So this is the EDT by Isabel Kramer, which I've modified a lot. I have put lace on the sleeves, lace on the bottom, and I have split the hem. So you're supposed to do a short row shaped hem, but that is not a good look on me. I mean, you know, anything that accentuates this bit, not good. It can accentuate itself all on its own. It does not need help. So this is where the lace sits. It is a little bit longer than I was anticipating. I was expecting to have it about here. So this really blocked out. Really blocked out. You'll see the blocking bits later. I have got some bits in the vlog from where it blocks. So I'll give you a close-up of the lace. I love, love, love how this has gone. So it's proper frilled. I've got a proper frill on it, which I love. I just absolutely adore this. I really do. My only issue is it is way too big around the neck. So I've had to pop a little t-shirt underneath it for today. Otherwise, I would have spent my entire time... I'm going to sit down again, actually. You can see that bit with me sitting down. I would have spent the entire time making sure I wasn't flashing you. So, my thoughts are, I am going to use the leftover yarn I had, which was here and is now gone. Yeah, it's here. I'll put it down. So I've got this left over, and this is all Lay Family yarn. So the top bit here is Daddy's Girl. The middle bit there is Cornish Way, and then the frills on the edges is this, which is Mango Sunset or Mango Sunrise. Not quite sure which. Can never remember. But I have this much left. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pick up and do an I-cord edge in this all the way round. So when I get the fingering weight rotation in garments, so day 3 again, I'm just going to go all the way around this and do an I-cord edging, so that it will, because it's a triangle, if I do something on all 3 sides, it will sink it in. And I'm hoping that will be enough. Might be a bit of trial and error. So that's my thought. I'm going to do an I-cord. I love I-cord edgings. Not so keen about knitting them, but I love the way they look. So I'm quite happy to do an I-cord. And I think if I do it in this colour, because it matches, although it's next to the Cornish Way on everything normally, it's going to be next to Daddy's Girl here. I really don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. Yeah, so I'm going to put that all the way round. Ian asked me why I couldn't do lace all the way around, but I was like, don't think that would work. And again, I think you just see through it, and this is quite low when it, even though I tried to block it so that the neck didn't grow any, it was obviously, and I don't know why it's, I keep interrupting myself, it's obviously too big. I don't know why it's too big, because I've done it exactly the same way as I've done my other 2 EDTs, and I've not ever had this problem before. So I don't know what I did. I do not know what I did differently, but I'm going to put a little edge on it with this, and I think it'll look really pretty. So yeah, that's my day 3 fingering weight object, is my modified EDT by Isabel Kramer, and yeah, I absolutely love it. I do. I mean, other than the neck, which I'm going to fix, it's just such a wearable garment, and over jeans, oh, absolutely perfect. I would say I definitely want to knit another one. I've already got the yarn wound up. I'm going to do a Sherry Iris version of this and do the same thing. I'm going to do the lace, I'm going to fade it, and I'm going to probably just do the I-cord around the neck straight away and not try it first. But you should hopefully see the yarn I'm going to use for that next week, if I've got this completely done. So you're going to get to see this as a finished object twice. It's going to cheat, isn't it? So that's my day 3, is my fingering weight garment day. And oh, I so need to coffee this today. Right, I've left half my Kalani Scarf instructions out, so let's pop those away. These are the bits I normally edit out, which I'm not going to edit out anymore, because I'm just going to chat to you instead. I quite like this friendly format for the podcast. As I said, it makes it so much easier for me to edit, but it feels a bit more like real, if you get me. Not so staged. Let's not stage it. It's fun. Right, so day 4 is baby garment day, or baby item day, not baby garment necessarily, although I am knitting a garment. And I am doing a baby vertebrae, which is a little cardigan. And did I? No, I didn't, because that would have been helpful. I thought maybe I'd left the picture out, but I hadn't. So that's the baby vertebrae. It's this tiny little cardigan, which has not really got a front, so it's just like a back cover and sleeves, which obviously is great if your baby is laying on its front, and stops it from getting soiled so much when they decide to spit up everywhere. So I am using, where's my ball band? Unusually for me, I have a ball band. I'm using Sherry Iris in her Robin Redbreast colourway, which is such a pretty colour. It's this beautiful sort of browns and greys, and there's a sort of almost a flash of orange in there. So pretty, so pretty. And it's knitting up beautifully. It's not flashing or pooling, it's just doing a variegated. And look, I've got this tiny little baby garment now. It's so cute. So cute. I've split off for the sleeve, so I was where that little star is, which of course is hanging the wrong way around, because that's what progress keepers do when you're a podcaster and you want to show them. They're always on backwards, even though that one clearly isn't. Okay, should we put you in the other way round? I bet you'll still go the wrong way. Right, there we go. That's a Safe Sweet Violet 1T. So I have split off for the sleeves, and I'm not going to do the sleeves first. Normally on a garment, as soon as I split off for the sleeves, I pick up and do the sleeves, but because it's only a baby garment, I'm not going to do that. And I'll do the sleeves on DPNs, which is unusual for me, but something I'm learning to do. But I am using higher interchangeables. They're not sharps, they're just blunt-ended ones, because the sharps just kill me, because I push with my finger and I just end up with this massive hole, and it's really painful. So there's just my interchangeable set, which is this set here, and I've got some Knit Pro DPNs for when I want to do the sleeves. But yeah, it's so cute, so cute. Oh, baby items are just so sweet to knit, aren't they? They really are. And as I said, I love how this is working up. It's not flashing or pooling, it's just being a proper variegate. Very pretty. And now I'm just going backwards and forwards doing knits and purls until it's long enough. So it's great TV knitting now, or car knitting, either way. And that's all hanging out in my baking bag from Busy Pottering. I think it's a bag she did for Bake Off actually 2 years ago, 3 years ago, quite a while ago. It's a good size bag, and it's a perfect size bag for this project. So it's really cute as well. So that's day 4. I'm going to have another drink, I'm sorry. Day 5 is, my minis are escaping. Day 5 is my DK sweater day, and that's hanging out in my giant bag from Bags by Awesome Granny. And I am doing the Whitmore cardigan, which is another Amy Loudon pattern, which is there. Can't really see it very well from that picture, to be fair. I don't know if there's a close-up. Don't think there is, no. So it's like the Whitmore jumper, but it's the cardigan version. And I'm using Lay Family yarn. As I said, it's the Lay Family yarn show, isn't it? In her vintage China colourway, which I love. It's one of my favourites of her colourways. And I got gifted a sweater quantity of it for my birthday from my husband a couple of years ago. So this is the yarn. It's DK. It's a 75/25 superwash DK. And it's all exciting now and all tangled and trying not to lose needles. So I was where the little teapot is, and I've now got all my stitch markers in place. I might run through those for you in a moment. And I am starting the patterning. So stitch markers, shall we have a quick look? So the dandelion, the dragonfly was Sherry Iris. That's come through. Do you want to go that way? Don't know whose that was, but I think it might be Lay Family Yarn. That might be one of Nick's. That's the So Sweet Violet Crystal, as is that, as is that, as is that, as is that. That is a little ring, so no idea where that one's from. That is a bulb stitch marker. Again, I think that was So Sweet Violet. That's a square one, which I don't know where I got my square ones from, but I have a whole set. I think they were gifted to me. That is an Anne Catton-Begg stitch marker that she did for the Flower Power Fund a couple of years ago. That is a So Sweet Violet one. That is a cream egg from Corner of Craft. That is another bulb stitch marker. That is my teapot, which I think was on a afternoon tea club from Lay Family Yarn. That is a little crystal, which I don't know where that one came from. That's a bulb stitch marker that is definitely So Sweet Violet, as is that one. That is a Doctor Who one, and I can't remember who that was from, but it's on a podcast a few podcasts ago. Can't remember who that was from. That is a little sheep from Woolly Goodness. That is a sonic screwdriver from the Doctor Who set. That is a little china cup that I've had for years, and I have no idea where that's come from. This is a licorice all salt, which actually looks good enough to eat, if you like licorice, which I don't. And that is from... I had it and now it's gone. That's annoying. Oh, what was her name? I used to buy lots of stitch markers from her. Don't know why I don't. I need to go back and look at her shop. That'll come back to me at some point. These have decided to... These scissors are actually a pain. You have to take them off. That's actually a Christmas stitch marker. Again, I can't remember who that's from. And that's just a pair of scissors that could have come from anybody, but I think might have been a Down Sheepy Lane one. Oh, it's really annoying me, I can't remember the name of the girl who did these. I bought so many stitch markers from her. Oh, never mind. Anyway, so that's how far I've got. It's really clever the way it's done, because you do the button band as you're going on DPNs. I am not doing buttonholes in my button band because I never ever wear cardigans done up, so there's no point. I'm not putting myself through that, so there's no buttonholes. And if I decide afterwards that I really do want to do that, I will do an afterthought buttonhole, but at the moment I don't. So I love the fact that it's sort of grown on button band. I've done the collar, and yeah, now I'm into the actual lace work, which is fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's a lovely, lovely pattern. The way it's written, Amy holds your hand every step of the way, so it really isn't confusing. It's easy to follow. Oh, honestly, if you could get caught up on something, it's going to. It's easy to follow, and the only tricky thing for me is to make sure that my DPNs do not fall off the end. Happened a couple of times, but yeah, I'm loving this. So pretty, so much fun to knit on. I'm hoping that in actual fact it's not going to take me too long once I get into it, because kind of once you've done the yoke, it's just straight knitting after that, so it shouldn't take me too long. And I was whizzing up the yoke last night, to be fair, so I really do think once I get into it, it's not going to take me that long. So that's day 5, garment day. Let's attack the coffee and just check what we dropped on the floor. Nothing serious. Now, day 6 has a tale to tell. Day 6 is blanket day, and I've got various blanket whips, and I tend to work on whichever one I fancy on day 6. This time it was the turn of my Stitch in Time blanket. Now the Stitch in Time blanket pattern is a pattern by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, and it's a lovely pattern, don't get me wrong. It is nothing, this next section is nothing against the pattern. Have I got a piece of paper that shows? Yeah, here we go. So that's what it's supposed to look like, and it's supposed to have this edging which you kind of knit on as you go. Now I'd knit 5 squares, well 5 of those big squares, and edged it in pink. So if you look back a couple of podcasts you'll see it. And I joined a few of them together at the weekend, and I hated it. I hated the way it looked. I hated the way I joined it. I don't know whether it's because the yarn I was using was a single, and it didn't have it as much integrity as a normal 75-25. Anyway, I frogged it. I didn't frog the inner squares, but I frogged all of the pink. So I've taken all the pink off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as an I-cord edging all the way around it when I'm done. So I frogged this. This is all hedgerow yarns. Again, there's nothing against the yarn. I just don't think I chose the right yarn to do what I wanted it to do. So I've got 2 of those. So I've got loads to put it through. And I'm using Hedgerow Yarns minis for this. And she dyes the prettiest minis known to man. I love, love, love her minis. And I love this project. I just wasn't happy with it, and because I wasn't happy with it, I wasn't working on it. So I frogged it, and I have joined all of the squares that I had already knit together. Not it kind of makes sense in as far as the way I joined them, I didn't have to stop and start again with the needle and thread because I've sewn these together. So I will fill in all the gaps with squares, and then I think it's actually that way up if I'm honest, and then I'm going to decide a width and a length and then use the pink to edge it. So basically it's turning into a Cosy Memory blanket. I'm also not so keen on the ridge in the middle, so I'm doing the flat one. Have I got one I've already done? Yeah, that's one. So I'm doing the flat one. So I've changed the design of how I'm doing the squares, and because they are now all over the place, I don't care if they're going different directions. So that one's going that way and that one's going that way. I'm just picking up and knitting them so that I can get this. I'm going to get this square. So I'm going to fill in this end, and I'm going to fill in that end, and then I'm going to work out how big I want it. It's only going to be a little lap blanket. It's not going to be huge, but I so much prefer this. I love the colours because it's all hedgerow. They're just such pretty colours. I love her colour palette. So I'm just going to carry on doing it like a Cosy Memory blanket. I think you could see a lot of this, by the way. Oh, there was a giveaway that I'd done it. It's got a stitch marker on it. Progress keeper on it even. Yeah, I'm just gonna carry on with this. I think, yes, I think you'll see a lot of this because I love it. I love it so much. I just want to work on it. Now I've got it like this, and I think it will look lovely with the pink I-cord edging on it. I liked the way the pink looked with the squares. I just didn't like the way the pink looked with the pink when you joined it together. And I tried a couple of methods. I tried sewing it together, I tried match a stitch, I tried overstitch, I tried understitch. I tried crocheting it with a big hook, I tried crocheting it with a tiny hook, and I just didn't like how they looked when they were just joined together. It just didn't, I just could not get my... I think the cast off edge didn't help. I think it was too tightly cast off. Yeah, it just didn't look right. It was pulling in, so these were like bagging out, and yeah, I was like, no, not happy with that. So I sat there and frogged the lot of it. But I obviously didn't frog the squares. I kept the squares. I'm happy with the squares. The squares are fine. The squares can stay. But yeah, I frogged the edging. I mean, it could be that I'll just knit that edging all the way around. I could do that. But I don't think I will. I think I'll probably do an I-cord. I love the I-cord edge, so I think I'll probably do the I-cord. I mean, for somebody who doesn't actually really enjoy doing the I-cord edge, I'm planning an awful lot of I-cord edging on stuff. But I love, love, love this. I really do. So that's what I've done. I have changed it. As I said, nothing against the pattern. I think it was a combination of I cast off too tightly, I used the wrong yarn, and my sewing together skills are possibly not as good as they should be. Yeah, a lot of reasons for that. So my working part of this blanket is living in my little, I love this, my little duck Paul Lane bag, which is lovely. It was sort of like a little country fair. And then my other minis and yarn is sitting in here, which is a Mrs. Brown's bags tote. Well, it's a basket really, isn't it? It's a square basket. And yeah, as I said, I think that is now going to get an awful lot of work done on it because I'm happier with it as it is. So the lesson to that one is, if you're not happy, frog it. Unless it's your Kalani Scarf, in which case just live with it. Right, so that is it for knitting this week. Because I recorded on Saturday last week and today is only Thursday, I'm a little bit shorter of content, so I haven't got any other crafts at all. Oh, I could show you my travel journal though. Hubby bought me, I mean, I was such a soppy what's it, bought me a travel journal for the Valentine's Day, February the 14th, before we went into lockdown. I didn't travel. I mean, he finally gets me, with unprompted, the perfect gift, and then we can't go travelling, which is hysterical. So I have used this just for when we go away. And as you know, we've just been to Norfolk. If you may not but know, but we've just been to Norfolk for a week. So it's got all my Norfolk diary in here, and then there was a couple of days that we went to Wales as well. So I think you've seen the Wales one. So let's start from Norfolk. So this this lovely set of stickers, I think the idea is you're probably supposed to cut them out, but they come on a sheet, and I got these from the lovely Rachel of So Remy. and I need to find out if she does these as a pack, because I could actually do with a few more, because I'm using them as my page dividers. So there's one on the, where is it? There we go. There's one on the front of it too. So yes, this is, I finally finished this because I was, I didn't get it finished while I was away. So I've used washi tape around the edge of each of the sort of each of the photos. Paula, if you're watching, Snail Garden Paula, that's the windmill. And yeah, I stick in our receipts, pictures of our dinner. That's the lovely Laura. She's in my diary. Receipts, so this is where I got presents for all the girls and what we got them. That's our visit to Pottenheim. That was our dinner that we had. This is all to do with, this was the Thursday, so in the morning I went to see Paula, who's the lovely Stitch by Mrs. D, and in the afternoon I did a load of family history stuff, which my brother kept sending me destinations to go to, and I took photos and sent them back, and he'd tell me little stories about them. So I've written the stories down so that I don't forget about them, which is kind of cool. I really enjoyed that. So there's more there. And then on the Friday we were lucky enough to go on a boat trip to see the seals. So I've got photos of all of the seals. And then we went to Sheringham Park for lunch, and then it was going home time. So that's my diary. So I did get that finished. Oh, I'm so pleased I got that finished, if I'm honest. And then that's another one of these big stickers, so I've used that as another page divider before our next trip, which actually looks like it may be back to Norfolk in not this weekend, next weekend. So this weekend, as in tomorrow, we're supposed to be going away to Northampton for a balloon meet, but at the moment the weather is not looking good, so we're not going. But I don't know what way that's going to go, and I kind of need to know, because if I need to pack knitting I need to figure that out. So that was my other craft this week. I got my travel journal finished, and I'm really pleased I did. It felt like such an achievement to get that done, because the one I did last August, when we went away August last year, it's still not finished. And I'm having a little bit of a just let it go. I've got the same with my actual journal that I use. I don't know what I'm going to do about junk journaling at the moment, because I haven't really junk journaled this. I can't show you too much of this actually, because it's got a lot of work stuff in it now as well. But basically I use on my era, this is my era journal, and I'm actually using it as it is intended at the moment, so I'm not using it for junk journaling. So yeah, and I've started to not worry if I miss days, because I've been pedantic about going back and catching up, but it's too much pressure, and I don't want to put any more pressure on myself at the moment than I need to. I realised, I think, was it Monday? Hold on, what were we on? No, it was the weekend, one of the weekend days. I realised that I was getting upset because I wasn't meeting deadlines that I was setting for myself, and I was like, this is silly, they're my deadlines, why am I being so hard on myself? And a part of me is like, yeah, well, that's what self-discipline is all about. You've got to do it, and therefore you've got to get it finished, otherwise, you know, you're not being hard enough on yourself. You've got to meet these deadlines. And I was like, why have I got to meet these deadlines? I do need to meet the deadlines when it comes to tidying my house, looking after my kids, and looking after my husband. That's fine. Yes, of course I've got to meet those deadlines, but writing in a journal? Maybe not. So I've taken a step back and I'm trying to be very much more careful. And way back when we were doing words for the year before a pandemic hit, and it did, you know, it was like actually just surviving a year would be good. One of mine was careful, and it was to start a job, finish a job, put away everything that's to do with that job, and not leave things half done. And that's how things get really untidy, as I can testify by this room, because it is a state over there. And yeah, so I'm trying to be less hard on myself. So if I don't get things done, I don't get things done, so let it go. So bringing this back round to where I was going from with this travel journal, my brain was going, well, you can't do that travel journal because you haven't done your previous one. You've got to get the previous one done first. At which point I had a very good talking to myself and went, no, get that one done while it's fresh in your mind. You don't have to struggle with it. You know, if you leave it, you're never going to get back to it. So this week I've had a really pleasant few hours, a couple of sort of half hour here, half hour there each day, getting it done. And it's such a good feeling that it's done. I'm so pleased. I may very well go back to the August one at some point. Luckily, I've pretty much written all the narrative for it. I haven't done any decoration for it, and there is a couple of days where I still got to stick on the photos and do the narrative, which I haven't done. But because I keep a little line a day journal, I do know what happened on those days, so I can look back to that and fit it in from that. But only if I want to. I don't have to do it. Nobody can make me. Oh dear. But yeah, just being a bit kinder to myself doing these things. Right, anyway, so that's completely a tangent I didn't plan on going down. And that was my journal. Next up is Happy Mail. And ironically, last week, my Happy Mail turned up for one of the clubs after I'd finished recording. So for goodness sake. Right, so this is the July Yarn Club for West Green Loft Yarns. So if you have not seen it, look away. If you've not got yours, look away. It's really pretty. It's this muted palette. Really, really lovely. Now, I don't know whether I've shown this before. I don't think I did. I think that's why it's sitting in my podcast basket. But it seems very similar and very familiar to another one. But it's really pretty. I love, love, love this mini. So lovely. So that was that one. I also got, it's all clubs this week, the Colours of the Month club for July from Willy Goodness. So if you haven't got yours, look away. And that's the little progress keeper. And then this is the box. So pretty. So pretty. So that'll go in my habitations row eventually. I think next year I need to make it a rule of the year of finishing the blankets and not casting on new ones. And then last but not least, I'm very kindly gifted from Laura of the Lonely Knitter podcast, who has Crafter's Balm, has a website and is the diary behind Bumbling Yarns. I'm gifted her Scrappy Project Club, and this one is Schitt's Creek. So if you haven't got it, look away. It's really pretty. And this is going into a jelly roll blanket. Again, another blanket I need to get finished. These are 10 5-gram minis, and they look lovely as little jelly rolls, so very pleased with that. So that's it for acquisitions today. Yeah, that's it. So news. So this bit I call news from the knitting project. What news this week? I had an amazing visitor yesterday. I got to meet the lovely Gaynor from Tales of Cuckoo Land in person. She came to my house, which was really exciting, and she brought her lovely son Ted with her and Margot, so I had such a fun time. So yeah, that was so much fun. There will be a little bit of footage at the end. It's that way, isn't it? I need to remember it's that way. So that was lovely. It was really lovely to meet her in real life, and she's just the same in real life as she is on her podcast, and she's an amazing human. And if I turn that way, the sweet peas back there are from her garden and smell amazing. They are my favourite flower, but they are far too much work for me to be able to raise sweet peas, so I only ever get a chance to have them if somebody gives them to me. And yeah, they're beautiful. They smell amazing. The only thing that's actually a success in my garden at the moment is my fuchsia. My fuchsia looks amazing, but my garden itself is completely overgrown. It's gone a bit wild with all the rain and the sun. It's just gone absolutely crazy. So I need to get in there and get a lot of it kind of pulled back. So that'll be the autumn job. I shall go back from September the 1st. I will go back to doing 15 minutes in the garden a day and get everything sort of cut all back down again. Well, I say from September the 1st, from when my gladioli die. So the only thing I've got coming through now are gladioli, and they tend to last through to September. So until they've finished, I will leave it alone, but because I don't want to accidentally stand on them. I mean, gladioli are big enough, you shouldn't do, but when you're backing out of something, it's really easy to do. So I'm going to leave it until they're finished, and then I'm going to get in there, elbows out. I had such high hopes for my garden, sort of September last year. I've planted all these bulbs and I was really looking forward to them, and then we had such awful weather. I've not really had a chance to enjoy them this year, so fingers crossed next April it will look amazing, because Katie, my eldest, is getting married and she's leaving from here, so it would be really nice to have a beautiful garden for her to take photos in. So fingers crossed for that one. And then I'm hoping tomorrow, if we're not going to Northampton, we might do a Friday adventure. Now, again, if you're new, me and my husband started during lockdown to do our Friday adventures. When we were allowed to move out and about, we started exploring our local area, and we are lucky enough to be on the Kent border in Surrey, so we're able to go to Kent, and there's so many beautiful beaches in Kent that we've spent an awful lot of time exploring Kent. We've also done the south coast, Brighton and Shoreham, and down that end of the country down towards Rustington and Littlehampton. So we have a Friday adventure, so hopefully if we can't do one, we'll be able to do the other. And then I think that's it. So next weekend I am going to Norfolk. We are camping for 3 days. We're going on the Friday and coming back on the Sunday, which is another balloon meet. Details to follow when I know them. But that should be fun. I'm looking forward to that one too. It's a lot of work camping for a weekend, especially when you've got the balloon, but it does mean I'm on the Norfolk-Suffolk border, so hopefully it means I might get a chance to meet up with Laura if I actually message her and tell her that this might be the first thing she knows about it. So yeah, it's busy here. So if I'm not working, I'm packing or washing. I haven't supposed to have done that today. I haven't done it. I need to do that tomorrow too. Oops. Anyway, should have a podcast next week. If I don't panic. I will hopefully vlog if we're away anyway. I know not everybody's keen on the vlogs, which is fine. I will have a podcast as well at some point, but if I don't pop up next Sunday, don't panic. It will be because we're away, and as I found out with when we were away in Norfolk before, the signal for uploading isn't that great there, so I may not be able to upload straight away. So don't panic if you don't hear from me. I'm just away, and there will be more to follow. Right, on that note, I can hear my neighbour has started his leaf blower. What a shock. So I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're all okay wherever you are. Take care, and I will see you in some form next week, either with a vlog or a podcast. Look, I've got in my garden.
I feel really silly.
I say, sorry Ted, you have actually snuck in there.
Ted's looking at me like, Mother.
I've had a visitor. No, we're
knitting in Sharon's garden.
What are you knitting?
Oh, a wondrous dishcloth, my Jules Hill.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But I'm going to use it for my face
Yeah.
rather than a...
And we've got a couple
dishcloth.
of them around the kitchen. I love them.
Oh, I'm rubbish at knitting with this cotton now. I'm like a duck with a spade. It's for that face. It's just got no give, has it?
No.
So it's a whole different experience.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Yeah, it's not my favourite knitting with cotton, I have to admit.
No, a bit hard on the hands.
Yeah,
I keep
definitely.
knitting Margot's hair into it.
Oh, I've got that problem with my own hair at the moment. I'm knitting my hair into everything.
Oh, give me a bit of your hair.
Gladly.
I need some more hair. I don't have enough.
Yeah, we're going back to that hair conversation again. Let's stop. What you doing, Dems? Are you having a play? Hey? Oh, you want my... This is my camera strap. You are too cute. Yes, you are.